5 films were nominated this year for the Oscar for Best Costume Design, and those costumes are among the dozens now on display in a special free exhibit at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
For 21 years, FIDM Museum have had these exhibitions sort of honoring the best costumes, the ones that are nominated, as well as films from the previous year.
Like this cool coat worn by Christoph Waltz in Django Unchained, these 70s style duds from Argo.
I got an idea.
They're a Canadian film crew for a science fiction movie.
I fly into Tehran. We all fly out together as a film crew.
And these fabulous frocks from Anna Karenina.
We are bound together by God.
The exhibit features costumes from all 5 of this year's Oscar-nominated movies, including 6 looks from Snow White and the Huntsman, like this incredible feathered cape.
It was the first thing we actually made for Ravenna for the film because it had to be ready for the digital process, and they wanted plenty of time to make it work. So we made the cape actually before we made any of her clothes, and it sort of helped in a way to say, okay, this is Ravenna. She's a wicked queen.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Mirror, Mirror, which is right behind me, is about Snow White. So we have 2 Snow White themed films.
Organize a ball. We're going to sweep this kid off his feet.
I think it's a very interesting range because you do have the outlandish fantasy films, and it almost looks very runway couture, but then you have something with a strict historical reference, like Lincoln.
Mrs. Lincoln.
Madam President, if you please.
The costume designer, Joanna Johnston, had to pay close attention to be historically correct.
Almost all of Mary's costumes are exact replicas of the clothes that she was able to find in photographs or in paintings.
Les Miserables costume designer Paco Delgado also referenced paintings when he set out to create the film's thousands of costumes for characters from all walks of life across several decades.
Fantine is a really interesting character. We start at the beginning, I think, like a girl that really takes care of herself, and then we end up portraying her as a prostitute in a really harsh red color that is the same color that we see at the beginning, that is the color of the convicts in the movie.
And now here's an interesting factoid. You know, the singer sang live.
Right.
And so the designer had to make sure to not have fabrics that made sound. No taffeta.
Right.
Luckily, taffeta was not in fashion. You know what was more expensive than silk? Cotton muslin.
Oh my goodness.
That was known as the silk of the time. And so what do we see here? Amanda Seyfried, she wore this dress, and you see it, it's cotton muslin. This was thought of as luxurious as silk.
For this much less luxurious dress, Delgado actually spray painted the front to look like dirt. It's one of the many little details to look for when walking through the exhibit.
You can see the costumes really up close. I've traveled all over the world, and I especially love going to costume exhibitions, and they're all covered with glass. And so they seem almost distant. And not just covered with glass, but if you even move slightly closer, you might get a beep beep. Here, there's no glass, and there's no beep beep.
Just an opportunity to see these wearable works of art and learn about their roles in movie history. The Art of Motion Picture Costume Design exhibition continues at FIDM through April 27th. Bringing you the best of California, I'm Audra Stafford for California Life.